Although he's a rather unique character, Drill Sergeant only managed to make it into 2 games. But let's take a look at all of his figures. Welcome to another episode of Figure Focus, where I, SCL Matt, focus on the figures of one character from the Skylanders franchise. This week, Drill Sergeant. As you likely know, Drill Sergeant is one of the original 32 Skylanders, so we get his first figure in Spyro's Adventure. Spyro's Adventure also gave us his only 2 variants, Red, if you can call it a variant, and Gold. While both of these are considered chase variants, one is rather common, while the other is quite rare, but we'll get into that later. After SSA though, Drill Sergeant just made one more appearance. That was his Series 2 figure in Giants. That's it. No more standard figures, no more variants. So let's take a closer look at just how hard to find these figures are. Welcome to the rarity check. Series 1 Drill Sergeant, well, not hard to find, does have a little tale to tell. What most people don't realize is that back in the early days of Skylanders, some of the standard figures were actually store exclusives. As you may suspect now, Drill Sergeant was one of those figures. Upon initial release, Series 1 Drill Sergeant could only be found at Walmart. Thankfully, this was a timed exclusive, and the figure was later released to all retailers. However, this first batch of Drill Sergeant figures was slightly different. Not only was there a sticker on the box notating that it was a Walmart exclusive, but the paint job varied slightly from the figures that followed. Unfortunately, I don't have a good side-by-side comparison of the differences between these figures, but believe me, there were differences. Talking about this Walmart exclusive Drill Sergeant often confuses collectors though, because there was another one. The first variant, Red Drill Sergeant, was also a Walmart exclusive. I pick on this figure occasionally because it's solid red, and the standard Drill Sergeant figure is solid red with a little bit of gold trim. If you don't look closely, you might not even realize this is a variant. Or you might just assume that it's some weird unpainted prototype figure. But the reality is, it's a variant, and it was always exclusive to Walmart. As a variant, it's slightly harder to find than its standard counterpart, but as a store exclusive, that usually means that there's plenty to go around. As I mentioned earlier though, the second variant is much more rare. Gold Drill Sergeant is a real chase variant. This is the variant that you actually had to hunt down and very few people ever found. Unfortunately, this was also in the early days of chase variants. Their designs were very simplistic and therefore easy to fake. Any competent artist armed with a standard figure and some gold paint could replicate these figures quite easily, and to an untrained eye, they can be difficult to distinguish from the real deal.
At least I've made you much more valuable.
So I would always suggest an extra helping of caution when purchasing one of these chase variants, especially if you're making this purchase online. After all of that mayhem in Series 1, it was a little bit of a relief during Giants when Drill Sergeant didn't have any variants and could easily be picked up in a single pack or a triple pack. But that's it. To complete your Drill Sergeant collection, you only need 4 figures. Happy hunting!